it's a joy to be in their church, and most of all in God's church. They served in our church, our community, did a good job, and I brought one of the ladies that they had active in the church where Brother and his wife worked before they came to you. And so I know them well, and I know you appreciate them, and so do we. But I never dreamed growing up, and I don't think anybody in my church believed that God would send me as a missionary anywhere, much less to the Spanish-speaking people in Houston, Texas for 35 years. And that's a little bit of time. You don't wonder why I'm in a wheelchair now, do you? I went there walking well, and I came away walking well. But I had knee surgery, and it just hasn't healed right yet. So maybe one of these days I'll come back and run up steps. I want to share with you today about what God gave me the experience of doing. When I was growing up in Central Hatchie, I know nobody ever dreamed I'd be a missionary. And when God called me, I said to him, God, you got to be teasing. I can't be serious at a funeral, much less for the rest of my life in mission work. But I found out you had a sense of humor, or you'd be arrested for murder. One of the first things that happened to me that first week as a missionary in the inner city, I didn't have any work to go to. They just said, you know, there needs to be mission work over here north side. Only 2% of the people ever go to church anywhere, and they're lost people. And there were drunks and alcoholics and prostitutes and everything you could imagine. And they said, we want you to live in this house upstairs. I said, you're crazy. I'm not about to live in that house upstairs. Well, it's ours, and that's your room. I said, well, I'll rent me a room across the freeway. It's amazing how we say we trust the Lord, but I trusted him when my eyes were open, but I wanted to see what was going on afterwards. And because after I had visited 1 week and visited in a car, well, you don't drive up to a family living outside in an old car somewhere, an old parked bus that won't run, or on the railroad in a shack that they've built out of refrigerator boxes and things like that, literally almost within the shadows of the skyscrapers in a city of 3.5 million people. You don't trust yourself when you're asleep to be protected. And, you know, God gives us good sense. And I didn't live in that little shack. But I found out I didn't get away from danger after all. And I still wouldn't be alive today if God wasn't a caring God. And God hadn't always been there right when I needed him with somebody to take care of me. I never forget I walked the streets for 31 days. From house to house, from junk pile to junk pile, and literally from families living on the sidewalk. Even to the point of taking food to one family one day, and I realized the man didn't move. And I said, is he sick or asleep or what? And she said, I guess he's dead. And I felt of where his pulse was supposed to be, and there wasn't one. And all I knew to do was to call 911. And I went in the store. You didn't have cell phones then, and asked could I call for an ambulance. And somebody came and picked his body up. What happened to the family? Well, they didn't have nowhere to go before, and they would exist somehow. But as time went on, I found out that you win people who have nothing, who do not care for themselves, who've thrown their lives away. You win them by caring. I never needed for things. We weren't rich, but we weren't poor. I thought we was rich for a long time because we killed so many hogs and so many chickens and beef cows and grew so many fine vegetables, and Mama's such a good cook. I thought we were rich. And isn't that amazing? But the world's changed a whole lot, and it got more dangerous and more dangerous. But it got dangerous for me after I'd visited a few weeks, because all the teenagers in the community that carried switchblades and were kind of toughies and like to scare everybody to death, decided they'd scare me away. They didn't need anybody to tell them about God, and they were just going to see just how tough I really was. I found out that I wasn't tough enough, but God was. Because one old boy walked up and he pulled out a switchblade and he clipped all 5 buttons off my blouse. Man, it didn't hurt me where he cut the buttons off, but my thumb like to kill me because I flattened him. I just hit him right in the nose. I never hit anybody before in my life like that. Not even my brother 4 years older than me, and I just couldn't believe it. And I thought I killed him. A little bit, I was so proud to see him kind of move. And I thought, he'll kill me now. But do you know what? He went running fat. When he came to, he just came up a little bit, kind of staggering around. And he staggered down the sidewalk. And last I saw, 3 or 4 buddies was helping him down the sidewalk. And I thought my hand just hurt me so bad. I had somebody to call, somebody to come take me to the emergency room. I never been so embarrassed in my life. Appointed under the Baptist Home Mission Board under their insurance. And I pulled my insurance card out, put it up on the desk at the Baptist Hospital in Houston, and said I need my hand taken care of. And it was shaking, it was hurting. And the man, doctor, was a Baptist of all things, and he looked down. He said, "Why do you have insurance under the Home Mission Board?" I said, "I'm a missionary." And he said, "How in the world did you break his nose?" "I know it's broken. It's got for his face. It's all wonkered over." I said, "Man, they didn't teach me that in seminary or the church either, but I didn't mean to. I just said he scared me out of my wits." But why'd I share it with you? Because I want you to be maybe like I was years ago. As a school teacher, I went through a few years when I just wanted to help them learn crafts and cooking and decorating and special things that they needed to know. But I think back to the one time that Harold Johnson, and it's going to be my last story, Harold Johnson, who's now deacon at a Calvary Baptist Church in Lilburn, Georgia, north of Atlanta, acted up in my class. And I said, "You come to my home ec department after school, I have to talk to you." And he got over there, and I just sat there and read a magazine for a while. And finally he said, "Did you want to talk to me?" I ignored him. And I said, "Yes, I do, Harold." I said, "I want to ask you something. Have you ever trusted Jesus?" By that time, I decided that God really meant business in my life, and that was the turning point of me turning from doing just ordinary things to telling people about Jesus. And he said, "Thought about it." I said, "Well, I'll take you home, but I want you to do something about it." His parents came to church. He seldom came, but once in a while. And I didn't know the effect. I didn't do anything much anymore. But I went up in that area to talk to the church, and he was there. And he said, "Miss Mack, I've never been so mad in my life when you kept ignoring me in that home ec department. You let me get just absolutely frustrated before you even spoke to me, sitting there waiting to tell me what you're going to do to me. And I want you to know what you did was what I needed you to do. It was to remind me that Jesus was real, that he is able to meet our needs, and he can change our lives." Thank you for listening today, and thank you, Brother Reeves. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.